Yes, children, welcome again to the next session of our online classes. That is the session number 6. It is nothing but a continuation of the third lesson. So, in the session 5, you saw how the wool is being extracted, how the sheep is being reared, and what are the steps to be followed to take out the perfect texture of wool. So, now we'll go on to the silkworms. Okay, so the silkworms, what is the history of it, how it is being reared, how it is being breeded, and how the silk is being extracted from the silkworms. So the people who do this work or the occupation of rearing the silkworms and extracting the silk from the silkworms, this occupation is known as sericulture. So now we'll see the history of silkworm. Okay, first the main important thing is the female silk moth. It is called as the silk moth. Okay, and this female silk moth is responsible for laying the eggs. So after the eggs are laid, it is being hatched, and after it is being hatched, it forms the larva, and after the larva and in the larva, the next stage is the caterpillar. Okay, the small worms comes out from the larva, and that is the caterpillar, or it is also called as the silkworm. And these silkworms, they begin to grow. Day by day, they start to grow, and the size of the silkworm increases. Okay, so the size of the silkworm becomes big. Okay, it increases. So after it increases, and then it goes on to the next stage. So the next stage is the pupa. So pupa is nothing but it forms a net around itself. Okay, so how the pupa is being formed? So after it forms the larva, it goes to the next step as pupa. So after that, what it does? It starts moving its head from side to side. And why does the silkworm move its head from side to side? Because it needs to produce the liquid. It is called as the protein fiber. So it produces that protein fiber and has it secreting. Secreting means to produce. So after it produces, and this pupa becomes hard. It becomes hard. How does it become hard? Because it is being exposed to air. So the top layer of the pupa, after it becomes hard, then it is called as the cocoon. And inside this cocoon only the silk yarn is being produced. So the silkworm inside the cocoon only it starts to produce the silk yarn. So we have got varieties of this silk moth. Silk moth are the different varieties of butterflies. Okay. So these silk moths are in different varieties. So each variety of silk moth produces different types of silk. Okay, so yield. Yield means to produce different types of silk, and each silk has got a different variety. So texture. So texture means when you touch, you will know how it is. And the most common silk moth, it is called as the mulberry silk moth. It is called as the mulberry silk moth. This is the most common one which is used for producing the silk. And how does the texture look? Or when you feel how it is? Some texture will be coarse, that is it is little rough, and then some will be very smooth, and some has a shiny appearance. So, and then lustrous. Lustrous is again nothing but it is shining, and then it also has the property of elastic. Elastic means it cannot be stretched completely, but to a certain extent it is stretchable. So long we saw what was the history of the silkworms. Okay, so now we are going to see in detail how these silkworms are being reared. So as I told you earlier, reared means how it is being brought up. So the main important, as I told you before, it is the female silkworm. So at a time, it can lay hundreds of eggs at one time. Okay, it is not just 100, it is 100. So it is more than hundreds. Okay, it can lay so many eggs at one time. So after the eggs are laid, what is being done? These eggs eggs are taken and it is being stored, that is, it is being preserved. How it is being preserved? They take strips of soft cloth. Okay, strips means long length of soft cloth or soft paper, and then they wrap it in that. They keep it safely, and then it is being sold to the silk farmers. Okay, the people who buy this and take out the silk from the silkworms, those people are called as the silk farmers. So it is being sold to them in the markets. So after it is being sold to the silk farmers, what the silk farmers are doing? So after that, they take these eggs, they go and in a clean and hygienic place. They keep it in a clean and hygienic place. And for that, they should have a suitable temperature and its humidity. That is, it should not be too hot or it should not be too cold. Okay, it should have a moderate temperature. So how, after taking this and preserving it, what is the next step they do? They use a huge bamboo tray. Okay, they use a huge bamboo tray which will have divisions in between. So they put these eggs into that, and then the eggs are being hatched, and after the eggs are being hatched, so after it is being put into the bamboo tray, the eggs are being hatched, and then it forms the larva, and from the larva it goes to the pupa stage, and from the pupa stage it becomes the cocoon. So before it could become the cocoon, when it goes on to the next step, that is the larva stage, it comes out in the form of worms. Okay, so those worms are being fed with fresh mulberry leaves. Okay, so these fresh mulberry leaves are being put into the bamboo tray, and these worms keep on eating those leaves day and night, non-stop. They keep eating the leaves, and within a few days they increase in size. And for how many days they keep on eating? For nearly 25 to 30 days, non-stop, day and night, these worms keep eating the mulberry leaves. So after 25 to 30 days, they completely stop eating. So that's the time the people come to know that it is going to make the cocoon. So after 25 to 30 days, when it completely stops eating, what it does is, the worm itself, in that small chamber, it goes and attaches itself. Okay, as I told you, it produces the fiber, the liquid. So with the help of that liquid, it goes and attaches itself in the bamboo tray so that it does not move here and there. So once it attaches itself, it starts to spin the silk. So all this work is being done inside the cocoon itself. So it starts to spin its cocoon. So after the cocoon is completely formed, the silkworm starts to grow inside, it develops and it produces the silk. So in the next step, you will be seeing how the silk is being extracted from the silkworms. Now we will see the processing of silk. How the silk is being removed from the silkworm. So as I told you, for about 25 to 30 days, it eats continuously the mulberry leaves, and after 25 to 30 days, it stops eating and then it forms the cocoon. And inside the cocoon, it starts to produce the silk. So after all this process is completed, after all the process is completed, so how the silk is being removed? Okay, so after the complete formation of the cocoons are kept in the sun, and after that it is being put into the boiling water, or it is being exposed to the steam, or the steam is being given and then to the cocoon so that it separates the silk. So then the silk fiber gets separated. So once it is put into the boiling water or the steam exposure is given to the silkworms, the silk fibers get separated from the cocoons and the threads are being removed. It is being removed, and this process of removing the thread from the cocoon, it is called as reeling, and this reeling is done by the special machines which are being used to separate the thread from the cocoons. And then the fibers of silk or the silk threads, it is being completely separated from the cocoons. Once for all, it is separated from the cocoons. So the worms are separate and then the thread is separate. So after all this, they use this to make the silk thread. And once the silk threads are made, it is being weaved into the silk cloth. And this silk cloth is being weaved by the weavers. Okay, so this is about how the processing of silk has taken place. So in your textbook, okay, in your textbook, page number 28. Page 28, figure 3.9. Okay, page number 28, figure 3.9. If you go through that, you can see what are the stages of the silkworm. Okay, which I explained to you previously. If you go to page number 28 and figure 3.9, you will see what are the different stages the silkworms is undergoing before it completely changes into a silkworm. Right from the eggs, and then how the larva is formed, and then how the pupa is formed, and how it forms the cocoon. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can write it in your assignment book. And when you submit your assignment for corrections, then I will clear your doubts in the next session. Okay, so for this, the assignment will be given on the group after the video has been sent. Thank you.